The time has come where 17-year-old Neymar looks up at 32-year-old Neymar and says, it's time to come home to Santos.
Oh my God, my Shayla. My Shayla.
Oftentimes, when we talk about the greatest of all time in football, two names come up, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. But I know that I'm not the only one who thinks, what if we got Neymar to his fullest potential? What if Neymar had Ronaldo's work ethic? What if he had a better attitude? What if he didn't have so many injuries? What if he had just a little bit more luck on his side? What if? Would he be in the conversation as the greatest of all time? A lot of people think so. Even some of the greatest footballers in the game have said that about Neymar. Take Buffon, for example, who said that he's witnessed and played against 3 generations of footballers. That include Zidane, Iniesta, Ronaldo, CR7, Messi, the list goes on. And who did he say the greatest was that he played against? Neymar. So I'm sure that the question that will haunt us football fans till our last day is, what if with Neymar? Now, Neymar might not have achieved every single thing he's wanted to in his career at this moment in time. Right now, he's not backed by a World Cup or even a Ballon d'Or. But what he will get to experience is that full circle moment to his boyhood club, Santos. And judging by the response he got, that invoked the emotion that Neymar showed the world, I have a feeling that this will be Neymar's best move yet. Not only is he going to reconnect with his roots, but he has the opportunity to reinvent himself. Hello everyone, welcome to the Caroline Salimi Show. Thank you so much for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And on today's show, we will be talking about the one and only Neymar. And I'm so excited about this because I don't know if you know this, but little Caroline, let's call her Caroline Jr. for the sake of this episode, was obsessed with Brazil. I still am till this day, but Caroline Jr., heavily obsessed with Brazil. Some of my favorite players, Kaká, Neymar, Ronaldinho, Robinho, loved Robinho, Cafu, Dida, the list goes on. I could talk about Brazil from that era this entire episode, but I'm excited to dive deep into Neymar because there is so much good news surrounding him right now, and I'm very hopeful for the future of Neymar now that he is signed to Santos. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so we all know by now that Neymar has made the decision to leave the Saudi Pro League and Al Hilal. So during that time, he played in 7 games in the span of 17 months and recorded 1 goal in the span of 2 seasons. But let's not forget that Neymar was also coming back from an ACL injury that he suffered in October of 2023 in a World Cup qualification match between Brazil and Uruguay. So ultimately, we can assume that Al Hilal isn't happy with Neymar, the Al Hilal fans aren't happy with Neymar, and Neymar's probably not happy being in Saudi. There seems to be a disconnect there for him. So this is what he said in his farewell post to the club and the league in general. He said that he wished they enjoyed better times together on the pitch and said that he always felt the fans' love and passion for the game and that he will always support the Saudi Pro League. Now, we all know Neymar's resume. This video isn't about that. We know he started at Santos, then he went to Barcelona, then he made that iconic epic transfer to PSG, whether you loved it or you hated it. Then he went into the Saudi Pro League, and now he is going back to where he first began. And that's what this video is about, going back home. Santos is the club that helped him put his name in shining lights. This is where Neymar was discovered. This is where we fell in love with Neymar. This is the club where till this day, we watch clips of Neymar dangling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders and breaking through.
How did he do that? How did he do that?
I do think Neymar going back to Santos, back to Brazil, being back in front of his fans, being back in his home country where people love and respect him, could be the best thing he has ever done.
Only time will tell.
Okay, so just in case you didn't know, Neymar left an annual $104 million on the table with Al Hilal, okay? We know that the 2026 World Cup will be Neymar's last World Cup. It'll be the last World Cup where Neymar will have the chance to hoist that World Cup trophy. And I know that makes a lot of us sad, but this is why I think this move is so important, and I think it's important that we talk about it, because I think Neymar is making all the right moves right now. Sure, he left $104 million a year on the table, but for what cost? To potentially have the last dance at the World Cup and hold up that World Cup trophy? That's a priceless experience. And we know that if you watch Neymar from the beginning of his career, that he's a player that deserves it. He's one of the greatest we've seen. And like I said, what if? What if he did all those things that I mentioned at the beginning of this video? Different attitude, different work ethic, some better luck. We might be talking about him in the conversation as the greatest of all time. So I know that I'm not the only one who wants to see Neymar hold up that World Cup trophy, but him making that move to Santos, I truly, truly think brings him so much closer to the potential of winning that World Cup. I don't think that there's as much pressure there, and I feel like he thinks he's in a safe space at Santos. This is his comfort zone, and maybe he needs to return to that for a little. So here we are. Neymar signs that 6-month contract with Santos, and he says that it can be extended. Now get this. His monthly salary at Santos will be $166,000. Obviously, a very significant drop than what he was making at Al Hilal, and apparently a much lower income than what he was offered by Chicago FC in MLS. So what do we know? 100% in this moment, Neymar's not chasing the bag. He's chasing his love for football. This is so important because maybe this is maturity we're seeing in Neymar. Maybe this is that hunger we've been wanting to see from Neymar in a long time. He's chasing his love for football.
Damn straight.
Okay, so now it's January 31st of this year, and it's time for Neymar's welcome home party. And what happens? 20,000 Santos fans wait in the rain to welcome him home. And again, guys, this goes deeper than surface level stuff. This is Neymar, one of the greatest players of our generation, who could have been the greatest player of our generation, circling back to, again, a club that you may not see in headlines every single day. And the real ones know that this has the potential of being one of the greatest comeback stories in football history. So these Santos fans, they waited in that rain and gave him the welcome back that he deserved. You see the flashing lights, you see the fire, you see Neymar kissing his badge. But do you hear the fans? Listen to the thousands of fans chanting Neymar's name. Honestly, I get chills watching this, listening to it, talking about it, and I hope in my heart of hearts, it brings us back to maybe not even prime Neymar, that's not the expectation, but at least watching the Neymar we know and love have fun playing football. And just think about what he's probably processing in this moment. The start of his career, his time at Santos, everything that happens in between, the criticism, the injuries, the quote-unquote failures. Everybody talking about him, maybe not reaching that standard, that bar that was set so high for him. I can tell you probably right now that's all going through his head. And you know what he's met with? Love. And let's just take a second and remember how powerful that emotion, that support can be for someone. So then we see him kissing the ground of the stadium. We see him falling to his knees in front of his locker, obviously still getting emotional, and then emotional yet once again during the press conference. So in this press conference, Neymar mentions that he obviously wants to return to the Brazilian national team. He still has things he'd like to achieve, and that he has a mission that he will pursue no matter what. Guys, that mission starts with Santos. Like, this is a big move. This is the move we should all be talking about. I know that there's these young footballers and transfer windows and who's playing amazing right now. Rodrigo's so good on the left wing, yada, yada, yada. There's so many storylines, but this is the storyline that matters because it could be the greatest feel-good football story of our generation. In history, honestly, Neymar has that potential, not to put any more pressure on him. But this is what we're dealing with.
Can you imagine?
And speaking of Rodrigo, who's an absolute machine on the left, if you know, you know, he has officially entered the chat. And take a look at what he posted on Instagram of Neymar and him 15 years ago. Today, being more than an idol, a friend, you earned my respect and admiration even more. Contrary to all the logical, putting love and happiness above all, I can't help but to be proud of my childhood idol. We also heard from Rodrigo in a post-match interview. I believe this was after the Champions League, where he said, Neymar, I'm so happy. I was checking Santos' social media nonstop to see if they announced him. I sent it to everyone and asked if it's real. It's so special for us Santos fans. If I could go to Brazil for his presentation and come back, I would. Rodrigo, 15 years ago, looking up at Neymar like, wow, this is him. And now Rodrigo lifting Neymar up saying, I got you. You can do it. We need you to win the World Cup in 2026. Again, we can't underestimate the power of this human connection, the support that Neymar's getting. Do you guys sense the pattern here? We fell in love with Neymar at Santos. Some of the biggest names in football right now fell in love with Neymar at Santos. And now we just need Neymar to re-fall in love with Neymar and football at Santos again. Other things that Santos and the fans did to help Neymar feel more welcome. Fans tracked Neymar's flight to Brazil. It was tracked by 33,742 people. That is wild. Fans were so happy to welcome him, obviously with his 100% Jesus headband that he's so well known for. They were even working on a Neymar mural. The club already sold out Santos Neymar kits. And Santos made a huge kit with Neymar's famous "I'm leaving but I'll come back" quote that he wrote on the wall of Santos' dressing room. I'm telling you guys, this could be the move. This could be the biggest, best move he makes in his career. Just has to stay healthy. No more injuries. You hear that, football gods? No more injuries for Neymar. Please.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
So Neymar first played for Santos from 2009 and 2013. He was 17 years old when he signed for the Brazilian club, and obviously the praise, the noise around the signing was that Neymar was the next Pelé, which is obviously one of the biggest compliments you can get. So that pressure, that expectation was set on Neymar from a very young age. In the 225 games he played for Santos, he scored 136 goals and 64 assists. And now only time will tell what Neymar will accomplish next with his boyhood club.
We can't wait any longer.
For me personally, if Cristiano Ronaldo can't hold up that World Cup trophy, I want no one else to do it but Neymar. But not only that, like I've said this entire show, for me, it's not about the achievements or the accolades anymore for Neymar. Like Buffon said, he should have 5 Ballon d'Ors by now. That's how good he is. We know that. Neymar doesn't have to prove himself with that. But it's almost just like once we know and see that he's having fun, once he's smiling, and this is going to sound cheesy, but once we can see that he's smiling from here, we know we will get prime Neymar. It's just about him finding that connection, and I swear it can happen at Santos. So now I'm going to leave you guys with this. What if we reframe the what if around Neymar? What if we finally get that version of Neymar that we knew has always been there? What if we witness one of the greatest full circle moments in the history of football? Because that is the potential that this move to Santos has for Neymar approaching his last ever World Cup, his last shot of his career.